What up, Beyond the Gates fans? Gotta go live a lot this week and probably for many weeks in the future to talk about this show with my own little reality show, competition show, The Traders OCG, debuting here in about a half hour. Gotta do it live today. Today's episode, similar to the start of last week, was more on the disappointing side, I must say. So, not the most to talk about today, but at least, I mean, the positive I can say is Derek and Ashley were not on. So, very big positive there. The big negative, though, Eva and Leslie were not on. And they haven't built up these other stories enough to make other characters interesting enough to carry these episodes when Eva and Leslie are not on, in my opinion, anyway. I guess I'm going to start with Kat, and I guess Kat and Chelsea. They had the bigger things today. I guess it needed to, but at first, Kat and Chelsea were commiserating. Chelsea is still down about striking out with Allison, the whole thruple situation that didn't work out for Chelsea and that woman she was hoping to have a deeper relationship with. And then Kat was complaining about Tomas, who is always acting like Kat is the bad guy when he's complaining about Eva, because Thomas and Eva have their little friendship too. Now, on the Kat side of things, Tomas ended up interrupting the conversation. And I guess Kat decided to leave her or let her guard down and really get to know Tomas. I'm a broken record at this point with the actor that plays Tomas, but it's just the truth. If he was a better actor, this whole triangle between him, Eva, and Kat would be far better TV in my opinion. But instead, it usually falls flat. And again, today, it just falls flat for me. I'm getting to the point where I'm going to start calling him Thomas because he certainly does not have the flavor to be a Tomas. Okay. So on this channel from now on, I think I'm going to start calling him Thomas. So Thomas and Kat didn't have chemistry. And even though Kat let her guard down with Thomas, it didn't work for me. I don't know if they're going to move along to the bedroom here. You know, we have the whole Kat's virginity story going on, but I'm having a hard time investing as these two in a couple. And I don't want Kat to sleep with Thomas, because they just it should not be Kat's first intimate relationship. Kat is too good of a character for Thomas. And Eva too, of course. I've said that many times as well. Let's move on to the Chelsea side of things, and I will probably get through this quickly because when I usually do a live, I tend to rush through this. It's what I'm going to have to get better at going forward with lives. But also, there just wasn't a whole lot to talk about in today's episode. Chelsea ends up running into Bill and Hayley. They had this whole conversation, kind of a repeat conversation they had weeks ago when Hayley first thought she was pregnant. Now it turns out Hayley is really pregnant, allegedly. Chelsea learns this information, not happy about it. Hayley, per usual, being annoying about it, with Chelsea being like, oh, you thought this was just a fling and we weren't going to be together and your dad was going to go back to your mom, which is going to happen at some point this year or next year. Bill and Hayley's toxic relationship is going to get back together, and they're either going to hook up. They're certainly going to hook up at some point, or actually get back together. And I can't wait for that moment because the character of Hayley just doesn't do it for me overall. I am kind of glad, I guess, they are giving her this pregnancy storyline. It does create all this tension with the rest of the Duprees. You know, Chelsea, Naomi, Anita, Danny especially aren't going to take this well. So I'm fine with that side of things. But like I've been saying for weeks, with Hayley, they need to either give her a relation with June, or I still think her and Eva need to be friends at some point. I think that will help the character of Hayley, much like it has helped Martin finally being nice to someone with Eva. It's given him more layers. I'd like to think maybe it could give Hayley more layers as well because Eva's such a great character. Let's move on to Anita and Tracy today. It was kind of more of the same from Friday's episode where these two are concerned. I like that Tracy tries to tell Anita truths about herself, and it's because these are the kind of things I've been saying about Anita the entire time this show's debuted, where she'll say one thing, but her actions tend to be another thing. And Tracy called her out on that shit today, talking about how once Anita had any pushback from Tracy, Tracy immediately wanted Anita immediately wanted Tracy to leave Fairmont Crest, saying she would buy Tracy a ticket out and she's going to squash this whole reunion concert. And Tracy called her out. This is the way she rules over Fairmont Crest. She wants to just kind of run away from the situation, put an end to it. And in the end, that's not what happened. Tracy's trying to tell Anita that she will go ahead with this reunion concert, but they're going to have to get Sharon on board. And specifically, Tracy made it be known that Anita's going to have to get Sharon on board. I'm expecting a lot from the character of Sharon, so I hope the show can live up to my expectations, because I need someone to be this big personality that is a pain in Anita's ass. That is what I want from the character of Sharon, and I hope that is what we get. The casting is very important to that character for me. By the end of the episode, Anita is telling Vernon that he didn't meet the real Anita Williams back in the day, that she showed him only what she wanted to, that she was ruthless and selfish back then. But Vernon keeps supporting his woman. They make a good couple together. They still need work in separate storylines, though. But Anita is getting her own storyline here. Finally, we'll see if this Dante Green character... Sorry. Dying here. See, this is why I don't like to go live. This is why I can just record a video and edit it if I have to. Anyway. I was saying, Dante Green, we don't know if we're going to get this character anytime soon, but it seems like he was the one responsible for Anita going solo. And then we have this big secret of what Anita may have done. And in the press or on a podcast or somewhere, I read something that I'm pretty sure Tamara Tooney said it in an interview, that whatever this whole story is going to be for Anita, it had allegedly never been done in soap operas before. So that also makes my expectations pretty big, that it will hopefully not be some sort of relation story. Oh, Anita had a baby with someone, or we don't need any more of that. We've had a lot of that on this show. So if this is something never done in soaps before, then that has to be pretty unique. I hope that is actually the case. Quickly, Smitty was questioning Martin again because he knows that Bill knows something about Martin, or he suspected that Bill knows something about Martin that Smitty himself didn't know. But as per usual, Martin is able to gaslight Smitty pretty easily. And like I said Friday, I was hoping, even though I knew it was going to happen, that for once Smitty was going to be the one steamrolling over Martin rather than the other way around. But as usual, Martin tends to convince Smitty with lies, that he was saying that Bill played Smitty because he's working for the press again, and Bill just wants to have Smitty under his thumb, and Smitty seemed to fall for that. Now, I know we're judging by this week's preview, we're going to have a little intense confrontation between Martin and Bill, which I am looking forward to. I just still need more from the character of Smitty, though. Will he ever grow a backbone? It's not looking like it. And then we had Samantha and Tyrell. Samantha and Tyrell and Jessica. Jessica seems to really actually like Tyrell. I've had my apprehension that she was just playing him. After today's episode, that didn't seem to be the case. Um, Samantha was pushing Jessica to be the one to move things along with Tyrell because she wants to move the relationship along and kind of actually maybe become a couple. And Samantha told Samantha told Jessica that if she waits for Tyrell, then she's going to be waiting forever. I think Jessica and Tyrell can be cute, but I can't say I am that invested yet. And that's kind of today's episode overall. A lot of things I'm struggling to be invested in when Eva and Leslie are not around. I want the Anita story to be unique, like they're saying it's going to be. And I am looking forward to Martin confronting Bill. But when Eva and Leslie are not around, I do struggle. Per usual, I'm going to read some of your comments from my last video, which was Friday, since there was not any episode yesterday because of the holiday. So let's see what y'all were saying. And please leave your comments in this video because I do love to hear your opinions on what's happening on this show. Ronald Dobbins said Keith Robinson was good today. On Friday, I thought he was good as well, although this other commenter disagreed. Caribou1361 said the first Ted was the better of the two. The new Ted is there because someone wanted him there. He could have been given another role. Still miss first Ted. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of over it at this point. I'm moving on to Ted number 2. I do still think that first Ted and Leslie had better chemistry if they were going to go there in a toxic relationship similar to Bill and Danny. But I don't know if they're actually going there. And I'm still holding out hope that new Ted might actually have better chemistry with Nicole, because first Ted didn't. They were pretty boring together. Hemi30 says Ted and Leslie were great this episode. When he picked up Leslie's bag and dumped all that stuff out, I was like, okay, this is what I've been wanting to see. Keith can definitely bring out the aggressive tone when the scene calls for it, but I'm going to need Ted to give Vanessa some of that work. She was out of line talking to him like that at his place of work. I get she's Nicole's best friend and he has to play nice, but I would have respectfully told Vanessa to kiss my ass. As I said in the comments, I agree. Ted was definitely way too soft with Vanessa, and Vanessa to do that in his place of work was certainly out of line. And as I've been saying, Vanessa's the biggest hypocrite on the show, so I didn't like those scenes in general because she was being annoying. Ronald Dobbins said, I loved Shanice's obvious eavesdropping while Vanessa, the serial adulterer, was lecturing Ted about his one affair. Facts. Also, Shanice seems to still be interested in Andre. I would like if the writers pitted Shanice against Ashley. I mean, I would be down for well, let me think about this because it means Ashley gets more screen time. So I don't know completely. But I would maybe be more down for a Shanice, Andre, Ashley love triangle than the Derek, Andre, Ashley one especially. But I do like Andre and Danny's relationship issues that I guess might happen in this triangle as well. But yes, Shanice eavesdropping on hypocrite Vanessa was the only thing I liked about that entire scene. Sabritha Jennings said, I've never wanted so badly to reach through the TV screen and slap someone like I wanted to with Vanessa. WTF, the queen of sleeping around had the audacity to call out Ted. Vanessa is for the streets. Once again, facts. This is everything I agree with clearly. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. That was a great comment. I mean, I guess maybe that's what they're going for. If a lot of us are feeling similar about Vanessa being annoying in Friday's episode with Ted because she was being such a hypocrite, that has to be what the show are going for. Like I say a lot, this show likes to do a lot of stuff like, oh, men bad, which kind of annoys me at times. Like the men are always these dogs. But then you have Vanessa, who's the biggest dog. Oh, somebody in the comments, Blatant Truth says no. Shanice should get with Doug. Oh, that's a good idea. I would like to see that way more than Ashley in any triangle or Ashley in a storyline, period. All right. I'm running out of time here. Thank you for joining me today. My little show, The Traders OCG, a little competition reality show, premiering here at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. here Pacific. There's another episode there tomorrow. So I'm going to be doing this live again tomorrow. Hopefully, it goes better than this went. See y'all later.